The story of Gideon's 300 is one of the most epic stories in the Bible. It's a story of courage, faith, and total domination. But sometimes I think we miss the point of the story because we so focused on the fighting part. So let me tell you the story of Gideon S300, but this time we gone focus on the real point of the story. Gideon was a young farmer who heard God say to him, "You have 3,000 warriors in your family tree, but I'm going to use you to save Israel." And Gideon was like, "What? Me? No way. I'm just a nobody. You've got the wrong guy." And God was like, "Yeah, that's the point. You're going to show my strength through your weakness." So God gave Gideon some pretty specific instructions. He told him to take 1,000 of his male relatives and go to the mountain pass called Moor and get rid of all the extra weapons. They were going to need only what they could carry on their backs. And when Gideon and his 1,000 warriors got to the mountain pass, they had to go through some pretty intense training. Only 300 men passed the first test, which was basically an obstacle course. Then God told Gideon to do something crazy. He told him to send everyone home except for 300 men. But those 300 were going to be the most elite warriors that Israel had ever seen. And then God told Gideon to attack the Midianites at night with just those 300 men. Now, the Bible says that Gideon was very discouraged. But why? I mean, he had 300 elite warriors. That's better than having 1,000 regular guys, right? Well, there's two reasons why Gideon was discouraged. First of all, he didn't like that God chose him. He felt like he wasn't worthy. But secondly, and most importantly, he was afraid. He was afraid that 300 men weren't going to be enough to defeat the Midianites. But here's the thing. Gideon didn't have faith in numbers. He had faith in God. And if you look at the story from that perspective, it becomes a lot less confusing. You see, God didn't call Gideon because he knew Gideon would be a great military commander. He called Gideon because he wanted to show the world that he did need 10,000 warriors to defeat an enemy. He only needed one man who trusted him. And that's the real point of the story. God doesn't need your strength. He just needs your trust. So do you want to ever think that you're not strong enough to do something that God has called you to do? Because that's not the kind of strength that God is looking for. If you like this story, make sure you hit that like button. And if you haven't already, go ahead and follow so you can join us back here every week for a new Bible story. Also, make sure you share this with a friend, because the more people who know these stories, the better.